Good morning, everyone. This is Gurveen Sandhu, and today we are going to discuss the topic consumer motivation. Now, we will divide these two terms into different parts. So, consumer is basically that person who consumes the product. Now, consumer doesn't need to be a customer, and it may be the condition when consumer and the customer are the same person, or consumer and the customers are the different persons. Next, we will move to the motivation part. Now, motivation refers to that process that leads the people to behave as they do. Now, how they behave, that will lead that what their needs and requirements are. So that will, when there is some need, when there is some requirement of some person that occurs and that need arises in the consumer with which he wishes to satisfy it. Now, either he want to satisfy it or it won't be satisfied. So he is derived into the state of the tension when it is not satisfying. So once it is satisfied, when he want to satisfy it, either he want to satisfy it or eliminate it. So whatever your needs are, whatever your requirements are, they need to be achieved. They need to be fulfilled. And who is going to fulfill? That will be the motivational factor which will lead to the fulfillment of that need. So we move, we will take one, this is an opening form. When do the people go to the banquet hotels? So when we go to the hotels, either we want the personal service, means we want to have a lunch with a family kind of thing, or a unique experience. We want to go for roaming. We want to have some special dish over there, or we want to taste something specific over there. So this also satisfy the consumer ego needs. Now, as unique as I am, I want to go to that hotel, XYZ hotel, because I want to be there. So that is my own motivation. That is my own experience which I want to gain it. So that is what I wanted to do. And what motivated me, that is my inner part. So let's see what motivation is. The driven force within the individual that implies them to action. Now, what this driven forces? This is driven forces inside the person. This driven forces inside the person who wants to fulfill some kind of needs, to fulfill some kinds of requirements. So these requirements, these needs are being fulfilled with the help of the motivation, and that would lead to the action. The produced by a state of the tension due to an unfulfilled need. Now, when some needs are not fulfilled, when some of the requirements are not fulfilled, we get into tension. So to eliminate this tension, to reduce this tension, we work hard. We want to achieve that thing. And what will lead to achieve that thing would be the motivation part, which leads to the subconscious attempt to reduce the tension. So consciously we want that this tension should reduce. So a motivational factor would come over there, which will be acting as a driven force behind the mind to reduce or to eliminate that tension. Now, this is the model of the motivation process. So first are the unfulfilled needs, wants, and desires. These needs, these desires, these wants are those which are not fulfilled till now. Suppose I want to purchase iPhone, but I am having a Samsung phone only. I am having a Vivo phone only. But my need is I want to purchase an iPhone. That is my desire. Now this is my desire. This is not my need. Need is when I don't have anything. Need is I am hungry. I want food. It may be anything. It may be a dal or roti only. Fine. So that is my need at that time. I'm very hungry. I'm very thirsty. I want water. That is my need. So unfulfilled needs, wants, and desires are over there. That will lead to tension. When the things are not happening, when the things are not fulfilled, it will lead to the tension. And this tension would become as a driven force. So that driven force will lead to the behavior. That will lead to the behavior, means we will act upon it, we will work upon that needs, and we will try to fulfill that needs. And ultimately, our goals and needs are fulfilled. So the fulfillment of the needs and the goals are over there. Now, in between this driven forces and the behavior, there comes the learning. Learning means our past experience. We have learned something out of that. We have some past experience out of that. So that learning is over there. And the cognitive processes. Cognitive processes means the theories, the processes which are already happening over there. Suppose I am very thirsty, I want water. So I am not at my place, I am not at my home, I am outside somewhere. So I am hungry or I am thirsty, I want to drink water. So what my requirement will be over there? I will purchase one Bisleri bottle. Rather than purchasing Coke or something, I will purchase a Bisleri water, I will drink it and I will be, my thirst would be satisfied. So that is the cognitive process. That is my learning. I know that at the shop, I can purchase one Bisleri bottle. So that is the cognitive process. Okay, I have recognized my need. I have recognized my need. My need was thirst. My need was water. And I was in a condition when I was thirsty and my need was water. So that I have recognized and I have purchased a Bisleri bottle and I have satisfied my thirst. Now, when the goals are fulfilled, when the needs are fulfilled, the tension reduces or the tension eliminate, and further it will go to the further new tension. When our one need is satisfied, ultimately the new need come. Ultimately the new desire come. Ultimately the new wants come. So that will again lead to the tension part. So this is how the motivational process is working in a normal working way. So next we are going to discuss with the types of needs. So first is the innate needs, that are the psychological or biogeneric needs that are considered primary needs or the motives, which are at the primary level, which are at the initial level. Next are the acquired needs, generally the psychological. So first was the physio-social, sociological needs, and next are the general. These are the acquired needs, which are the psychological needs or psychogeneric needs that arise and considered as to be the secondary needs or the motives, which are at the second level. So these are the secondary levels. So next are the types of motives. Now, these motives are basically divided into two terms, that are the rational motives and the emotional motives. So rational motives are basically, rational motives are the motives or the goals chosen according to the objective criteria, means the price. So that are the rational motives. Price, what is the price? If it is of low price, I will purchase it. If it is of high price, no, I'm not going to purchase. So as per the price, the motive comes. Next are the emotional motives. Emotional motives are basically the goal chosen according to the personal or the subjective criteria, means desire of the social status. Now, purchasing a big car, purchasing an XUV is a social status. So that is my emotional motive. I am already having a car. My purpose is solved. I don't require any car anymore. Fine. But then also I'm purchasing Innova or Fortuner. Why? Because I want to create a social status over there. So that is my emotional motive. Emotional motives are basically all those motives which are not at all required. The basic requirement is not there, but because to create some emotional setting or to create some social status kind of thing, we have the emotional motives. Before we go into detail, let's first discuss the biogeneric needs. Now, biogeneric needs are those needs people are born with. Means these are the needs with which the people are already born with. That is, those elements necessary to maintain the life, such as food, water, air, shelter. Now, these are the basic primary needs. Means the food, the shelter, the clothes, fine, water, air. So these are the basic needs without which we cannot survive. So these comes into the biogeneric needs. Next are the psychogeneric needs. The people have many other needs, however, that are not innate. These are those needs which are not the primary needs, but these are the secondary needs. We acquire psychogeneric needs as we become the member of the specific culture. Now, I belong to Sikh culture. I belong to Indian society. I belong to a normal society, the Punjab society. So that would come according to the culture to which I belong. These includes the needs such as the status, power, and affiliation. People should recognize me. I must have some power. Fine. I must have some status. So I'm an assistant professor. I have a status of an assistant professor. I want that my students should recognize me. I must control my students. Fine. I must teach my students. I must I must have some kind of, relation with my students, that my students should admire and I should do 100% for my students. So that is kind of the psychogeneric needs. These are not the basic needs, but these needs come at the secondary level, which are in the form of the either the status or the power or the affiliation. Love, affiliation, so admiration, these all things would come into the acquired needs. So rational motives, emotional motives, we have already discussed. Now next are the latent motives. Latent motives are basically the motives that the consumer is unaware of or unwilling to recognize. These are those motives inside the person about which he is not at all aware of, or he or she has not at all willfully recognized, or they don't want to recognize it. Harder to identify, they can't be identified, a required projective technique to identify. So we require some need, some technique so that we can identify these kind of needs out of it. So these comes into the latent motives. Now next are the manifest motives, motives that the consumer are aware of and willing to express. Now these are those motives which a person is knowing, which a person is having in itself, and they want to satisfy those motives. So he is already aware of those motives and willfully want to express them and to satisfy them. Next are the goals. Now goals are defined as the generic goal. So first is the generic goal. Now what is the generic goal? The general category of the goal that the consumers see as a way to fulfill their needs. So those would be coming into the generic goals. That is, example will be, I want to get a graduate degree. So that is a generic goal. A consumer want to fulfill the need. So that is something, I want that degree. So that is my generic need, normal need. Product specific goals, the specifically branded products and the services that the consumer select as their goals. I want to get an MBA in marketing from so and so schools of management. From I want to go to Oxford University. I want to do my MBA into finance only. So that is product specific. I want this only. I want a smartwatch that is from Apple brand only. So I have specified that thing. So that is product specific goals. My goal is to purchase an Apple Watch. So of so and so model. So that is the product specific. That is, I've already defined my specific product over there. Next is the selection of the goals. The goals selected by an individual depend upon their different traits. So first is the personal experience. What my experience is, whether I have liked one product or not, whether it was good or not. So that is my personal experience. I've already used that product. It was not at all good. I have used that product. That is too good. I need to purchase it again. I will purchase it again. So that is my personal experience. It is working properly. It is not working properly. Next is the physical capacity. Now, am I able to purchase that product or not? Then prevailing cultural norms and value. If I purchase it, what my society will say, what my family will say, will it suit me? Is it good to wear it? Is it good to consume it, or whatsoever like that? And goals accessibility in the physical and the social environment. Now, is that possible that I should achieve that goal and it will work in the social environment or not? So these are all the things, these are all the conditions upon which we select our goals, that whether it is appropriate to select that kind of goal or not. Motivations and goals. So basically, the motivations are of two types, the positive motivation and the negative motivation. Now, positive motivation are the driven forces towards some object or the condition. And negative motivation, a driven force away from some objects or the condition. So those are the negative motivations. Now, positive motivation are which are positively, they are enhancing you, they are motivating you to do some specific, to do something, to come into some specific conditions and to go for that motives. Negative motivation are basically those driven forces which are taking you away from your goals. Now, positive motivation lead to an approach goal, a positive goal towards which behavior is directed. Now, negative motivation leads to an avoidance goal, a negative goal from which the behavior is directed away. Now, positive motivation will lead to come close to your goal, to achieve that goal. And negative motivations are those motivations which will take you away from your specified goals. So those are the negative motivations. The dynamic nature of the motivation. So next we will be discussing with the needs are never fully satisfied. So needs are never fully satisfied. Once the one need is satisfied, N1 is satisfied, so N2 will come. Now new need will come. Then third need will come. So needs are never fulfilled. इच्छाएं हमेशा खत्म नहीं होती. इच्छाएं always they keep on arising. One thing covered, one thing is fulfilled, again new thing, again new thing. The new need emerge as the old needs are satisfied. जब हमारी पुरानी old need is satisfied, again a new will come. A given need may lead totally different goals. So whenever the need comes, a new need comes, so the goals also change. The specified conditions also change. The specified targets also change. So with the requirement of the new need, with the coming of the new need, with the birth of the new need, the goals keep on changing in life. So consumers are more aware of their goals and than their needs. So consumers know what their goals are rather than their needs. The consumer's value, personality, and self-concepts influence the consumer goals. Now, the goals are being directly or indirectly dealing with the consumer values, personality, and the self-concept. Self-concept means what I feel is good. Personality, what suits me. And consumer values, what our parents have taught, what our society have taught, whether to purchase it or not. Next, consumers have multiple needs. That is prepotent needs. Now these needs are, I have at the same time I want to purchase a new suit also. I want to have a matching footwears also. I want to have a car also. So I want to go to McDonald's to have a burger because I want to eat it. Fine. Now these are the multiple needs at the same time. I want something specific in my life. So that comes over the prepotent needs. Now next are the motives are difficult to infer from behavior. Now, motives cannot infer from the behavior. Now, behavior is something different. Behavior is a routine behavior. And motivation is the motives are, what our motives are, what our goals are, what we want to achieve, what we want to do. My motive is to eat burger. Now, daily I don't eat burger. But today I want to go somewhere. I want to have something good in my lunch. So I'm going for a burger. So routine is not burger, but today I want it. So that comes your motive. Past experience, success or the failure of the particular product would influence the goals. So that would come into the defense mechanism. So what's my past experience was, as per that past experience, my today's goals would be set. Now the motives may conflict with each other. So that would come into the defense mechanism. Now these motives may conflict with each other. If we are having different kind of motive at the same time, so these motives are going to conflict each other. Three types of motivational conflict. So first is the approach. When the consumer is drawn towards the two positive goals. So two positive ways I am going to go. One is approach and another is the avoidance. Second one, when the goal object have both the positive and the negative quality. One is taking you ahead and the another is taking you behind. So positive and avoidance. One is approach. I am going to approach it. Another is वो आपको पीछे लेके आ रहा है. So you are avoiding it. Next, you are both drawn towards and away from the object. Next is the avoidance. When the consequences of buying an object is unpleasant, but the purchase does not lead to any pleasure. So even I don't want to purchase it, the product is also not good. And if I purchase it afterwards also, I won't be happy. So that is avoidance. Neither the conditions are good nor the experience is good. So that would come into the avoidance. This is when these conditions arises when there is a motivational conflict. there is the conflict between the motives. So first was the approach. Approach means both positive. Then approach avoidance, one positive, one negative. And avoidance, that is both the things are negative. Motivations can arise in many ways. So first is the psychological arouse. Psychological arouse means our basic needs, primary, hungry and thirst. I am hungry also, I want to drink water also, I'm thirsty also. Then emotional arouse, daydreaming. I may, yeah, God may give me, a big car also. I may have a big house also. I may have a bungalow also. I want a smart watch. I want a laptop. I want an iPad. So this is all daydreaming. You are not working towards it, but you are dreaming for it. Then cognitive arousals, that is the random thoughts. I want to clear my exam. One day I feel, no, I will work hard for it. Another day you feel, oh, it's so difficult. I can't do it. I can't put my time into it. I'm not able to practice the thing. So that is the random thoughts. Next is the environmental arousal. Cues in the environment. That is the smell of the food. Environmental arousal. You are passing away from somewhere and you get a smell out of it. You are passing through the restaurant or some shop kind of eatables and you get a fragrance out of it and you just stop and you start eating that thing. You purchase it and you start consuming that thing. So that is environmental arousal. By seeing here and there, you want to. Your friend has purchased a good, handbag. So you find it very good. You also want to purchase it. So you purchase it. Fine, you are seeing something. You have seen some hoarding over there. So after seeing that hoarding, you go for it. So that is the environmental arousal. That is coming out of the environment itself. Next is the defense mechanism, method by which the people mentally redefine frustrating situation to protect their self-image and their self-esteem. So this is the defense mechanism. When we defend ourselves, when we protect ourselves from getting into the negative thoughts. So I want to get out of my frustration. I want to protect my self-image. I want to protect my self-esteem. I want to get out of this negative environment. I want to get out of this negative situation. So we use the defense mechanism. So first types of defense mechanism would consist of aggression, rationalization, regression, withdrawal, projection, autism, identification, and repression. So this aggression would be when someone very aggressively go for that. So that would come into the aggression part. So these things are the basically rationalization, when the things would be taken into all together into the same part. So that comes the rationalization. So these defense mechanism basically consist when there is some typological of the needs. Now that needs can be the positive, negative, unilateral, hedonic, or the unconscious or consciously. Now, according to the goals, they never end and the failure to satisfy their needs would lead to the frustration. So the people keep on changing the same thing into the same way. So that would come into the defense mechanism basically. Now these things would be considered, first would be the identification. When we have identified what the thing was actually, so that would come into the identification of the thing. Withdrawal, we have already withdrawn it. I can't achieve it, so I withdraw my motive. I don't want to go for that particular motivation. So that would come into the withdrawal part. So next thing would come into, particularly, it would be the projection. When we are clear with this, that, okay, this is our motive and we want to go for that motive. So that would be the projection part. Regression, when we want to come out of it. So we regret through it and we don't want to go and we want to come out of that particular situation. So that thing would come into the regression part. Next are the philosophies concerned with the arousal of motive. So first is the behavioristic school. Behavior is response to the stimuli. So someone pinches you and you finally react towards it. Who is pinching you? Who is pinching? Why there is a pain in my arm? Because someone was pinching. So that is the response towards the stimuli. So that you automatically respond towards. Stimuli is the action which has happened over there and you are responding towards that stimuli. Elements of the conscious thoughts are to be ignored. So here the conscious thoughts are to be ignored over there. The consumer does not act but react. The consumer is not going to act upon it, but it is going to react upon it. When the product is not good, when the quality is not good, the consumer is automatically going to react for it. Next is the cognitive school. The behavior is directed at the goal achievement. Now, when the goal achievement is there, the behavior would be dealing with the same thing. The needs to consider needs, attitudes, beliefs, etc. in understanding the consumer behavior. So that would come into the cognitive school kind of thing. When the understanding is over there, when the need of the consideration is there, so that would come into the cognitive schools. The next is the Maslow's need hierarchy theory or the hierarchy of need. So basically, Maslow has divided this need hierarchy theory into 5 different needs. So first needs come, that is the self-actualization, self-fulfillment. That would come into the first. We will be starting from the base only. So psychological needs are basically the needs which are at the first part, that is your food, water, air, shelter, sex. So that is your basic need. You want food to eat, you are hungry, you are thirsty, you are feeling cold, you want clothes, you want shelter. So these are your basic needs. Afterwards comes your satisfy and security needs. So safety and security needs would come into your protection, order, and stability. So you want, you should be secure. You should live in a house. You should be very much secure. In society, the people are not going to harm you. They are not going to create any problem to you. So that would come into the safety and security needs. Then are your social needs. That is the affection, friendship, and belongingness. You can't live alone in the society. You want the people should talk to you. You want that people should recognize you. So these would come into the affection, friendship, and belongingness. So you must have the friends also. You must have relatives also. You must have your own family with which you can talk, you can share. So that comes into your social needs. You want your neighbors to talk to you. You want to live in the society. So that is your social needs. Then are the ego needs. Means the prestige, status, self-esteem. You want that I should be recognized. My own status, my own prestige, what my reward is, where I am, at what position I am. So that comes into your ego needs, means my needs. Then is the self-actualization. So self-fulfillment. When all these needs fulfilled, you feel that now I am into a situation which is self-actualization. So that would come into your self-actualization needs. Means your things have been satisfied over there. So that comes into your Maslow's basic needs, that are the 5 needs which are over there. So these are the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So self-actualization would be the highest level of the needs which refer to the people need to grow. They want to grow. They want more, recognition. I want promotions and develop and to become all they are capable of becoming. So again, they want to. I have done my MBA and I want to go for my job after having such and such experience. I want promotions. Now I want to go at an international level. So all these things would come into the self-actualization needs. I'm putting up in a small house. I want a big house. I want a bungalow kind of thing. So that would again also come into the self-actualization needs. The things are already there, but I want to get more out of it. I want to grow. I want to get more out of it. So that is the self-actualization needs. Next is the Murray list of the psychogenic needs. So these needs associated with the inanimate objects, that is the acquisition, conservancy, order, retention, and construction. So these things want acquisition. I want to acquire it. I want to construct it. I want to retain it. I want the things to be with me. I want to acquire all those things with me. I want to keep all those things under me, with me. So these things are the associated with the inanimate objects. Then is the need reflecting the ambition, power, accomplishment, and prestige. That is superiority, achievement, recognition, exhibition, and infa avoidance. So these things are the superiority, achievement. Now I need to be recognized. I want to be at that position. I must have a power. The people should work under me. I can control the things. So I want to control. Basically, this need is the thing which where you want to control the people, you want to control the needs, where you want to control all those things as with your power. Then need connected with the human part, dominance, difference, similance, then autonomy. So these are the defense mechanism. These are the needs which are being considered with your own part. Then are the pseudo mechanist needs. That is the aggression, embarrassment. You are embarrassed with something, fine. So that at when you are embarrassed, when you are aggressive, when you are very you are at a very high level, you are at very hyper into the hypertension thing is going. So aggression, you are going to get into the anger kind of thing. Then need concerned with the affection between the people, affection, rejection, then play, then you are being surrounded by the people. So these things would nourishing into the thing. So nourishness is over there. So these things come when you are with the people, when the people recognize you, when you have an affection, you have your own friends, you have your own group, they are considering you. And when you have a fight with them, they are rejecting you. So that would come into the affiliation and the rejection kind of thing. Then need concerned with the social intercourse. That would be the exoppositions, cognizance. So when there is some social intercourses over there, you are interacting with the other society people. Fine, the Indian people, they are going to America, they are interacting with that society. They are getting out of them. So putting into that society, the needs come. Once you are in America, your needs would be different. So it would be as per the appropriate way of America. So that needs are coming out of those social intercourse. Next are the McLean-Tyro for the needs. Trio of needs. So basically, it consists of three needs. First is the power. The individual desire to control environment. So that is power. I want to control the people with my own part. Affiliation, need for friendship, acceptance, and belongingness. So I want friends. I want my family. I want my parents with me. I want my husband with me. I want my son. So they should consider me. They should affiliate me. Then achievement, need of the personal accomplishment. I want to be an assistant professor. Then I want to be a professor, associate professor. So that is my personal accomplishment. What I want to achieve. These are my achievements into that. Closely related to the egoistic and self-actualization need. So that will lead to my self-actualization need. That was the last stage of Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So that would come into the self-actualization needs. So these three things are over there in the trio needs. McLean trio needs the power, affiliation, and the achievement. Further is the mid-range theories of motivation. So first is the psychological reticence. So the motivation arose due to the threat of the behavior freedom. When we are giving some threat to someone, so the motives come out of that. Then opponent process theory. Extreme initiation reaction may be followed by the extreme opposition reaction. When someone has reacted to something, when someone has acted as something, so as per that act, another person is going to give the reaction for the same. Priming, small amount of initial stimuli will lead to the desire of more. So when something small thing has happened, so that will lead to more. Extreme amount of the exposure to the same stimuli will lead to the withdrawal. So when we have done something at a very extreme level, ultimately we are going to come out of that. When the ends are crossed, 100% it's done, then we will withdraw it. Hedonic consumption, so need to gain the player through the senses. So we are enjoying the thing, we are taking the player out of it. Explain attraction to secondary rides, adventures, tours. We are going for adventures. We are going for rock climbing kind of thing. So that is you are taking the pleasure, you are enjoying it, you are enjoying traveling kind of thing. Then optimum stimulation level, desire to maintain a certain level of the stimulation that the consumer consider to be optimum. Now we are going to consider that kind of stimuli. We are going to have an optimum when we are utilizing everything in a proper way. So optimum is proper utilization of the thing. So that is optimum stimulation. Optimum stimulation level is when you are taking all the things in an optimal level, in a balanced level. Next is the motivational research. The qualitative research designed to uncover the consumer subconscious or the hidden motives. So that will come into the qualitative research. So a research which is done to uncover the consumer's unconscious or the hidden motives, the motives which are not open, which are not aware of. We want to uncover those. We want to make them aware of. So that will be done by the qualitative research. Consumers are not always aware of or may not wish to recognize the basic reason of underlying their action. So they are not aware of or they don't want to recognize it. Now these projective techniques which we have talked of, the projective techniques which will lead to uncover the needs would be metaphor analysis, storytelling, picture drawing, photo sorts, thematic appreciation test, word association, sentence completion, third person technique. So these techniques would lead to uncover those needs which we have not covered, which we have not fulfilled, which are not fulfilled, and we don't know about all those techniques. So these techniques would come over there in the projective techniques. So these techniques are used to uncover the unfulfilled needs or the motives. Identify the needs and the goals of the target market. Identify both the latent and the manifesto motives. So the motives which we have already done. So these are to be identified, these are to be known, and then we have to work upon it. Use knowledge of needs to segment the market and to position the product. So we will use our knowledge to identify which market it is and where we are going to keep that product over there. So keep that product means in our mind where that product is at level 1, level 2, level 3. So we are going to rate that product. Use knowledge of need to develop promotional strategies. So how we can promote it, how it can happen. Reduce the motivation conflict. So whenever there is a conflict between the positive negative, so that kind of situation must be reduced. That kind of conflict need to be reduced. So removing the negatives one and considering the positives one. So that would come into the motivation conflict will be reduced at the same time. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone for patient listening. Thank you.